Oh man, I'm recording at like almost 10, and I want this video to be like 15 minutes because I was streaming Roblox and I want to get back to streaming Roblox. I don't know. I was just like, I noticed that they had a mobile app, and then I was like, oh, I should stream that. And then Mike was down, and then I just did it. And then we got like fucking just random ass Roblox fans came in, and we had like 6 people there, and I was just playing Roblox. And I think after this, I'm gonna make a cup of coffee and play Roblox until I fucking pass out. Oh man, I don't know what it is. I think it's nostalgic, and it's just fun. I don't know. Roblox is so silly, and it's absolutely crazy that there's a mobile version and it works. And it works with my controller too pretty well. Except the sticks stick sometimes. Sometimes when using like the directional stick, it'll what do they call a thumbstick? When using that, it'll fucking it'll just what you call it'll hold a direction accidentally, like I'll go in a direction and then it'll just keep going in that direction. Absolutely demolished my battery. But I was in high performance mode. I wonder, I just did something dumb. No, because I went to grab my water and I wanted to press the thing, so I pressed it with my nose. I do that every now and then. I'll type or something with my nose. And I'm pretty sure my hair, like, brushed up against the mic. Which might have been dumb. But, whatever. Oh, God, no. Now I'm thinking about that. I shared my YouTube channel with one of my Kick Chats. I'm not there often, but it's not even mine. I guess it's just one of the ones I'm in. And a lot of people said my voice was cool and whatever. Some person said that I giggled like every 3 seconds, and now like I did that, and then just doing it, I'm thinking about how I'm doing it, and then everything's all exploding inside my brain or whatever. But whatever. I do. Oh no! It's not helpful that everybody tells me how great my laugh is, because then I get used to, oh, maybe I should laugh more. And then, it's good to laugh more. It's good to be happy. It's good to be, excited and happy. When you're happy, you're happy. When you're happy because you're happy. It's that sounds weird, but it makes sense, When you smile, you're happy. You're happy because you smile, and you smile because you're happy. It adds on to itself. That's just how your emotions work, weirdly enough. When you see other people smile, you smile too. You get happy because they smile. It's just how it works, It's all connected. It's all science, brain, fucking whatever. I'm glad that I didn't have any anti-vax fans in the comments yesterday. Just mentioning science thing, I thought of that. I had more people who were for what I was saying. Perhaps they wouldn't as easily tell somebody who's anti-vax to go fuck themselves, but one thing about Roblox fans is they're young. When I played Roblox, I was young too, and I'm no longer young. I'm not legally an adult, but I'm not a child. I'm a minor. I'm 17. I'm not 9. One of the people there, one of the people in the chat was 9. And it is weird to cuss. I asked him if it was cool or whatever, and it always is. Like he's seen and heard some crazy shit by now. I mean, I could say some really, really crazy shit that he hadn't heard yet, but he'd heard shit. And that's usually what I tried to say. I don't think, after I learned that he was 9, I don't think I said the F word at all, just because that's more of a big deal. Words have the meaning that we give them, and curse words are weird. Curse words are like, they're visceral. They're just like, they're powerful, and they're like they sound nice to say, and they also have that connotation that they're bad, so it's like rebellious a little bit. So it's, it's complicated. And then there are, of course, racial slurs. I watched the the iDubbbz videos. I watched the Content Cops, and Keemstar was one of them. I watched that. I watched the ones that I hadn't seen already. So I watched all of them except for Leafy and one of the other ones. I forget what it was. His most recent one was with some chick or whatever who called him out for using the N-word, even though she had used the N-word in the past, and then she's like super hypocritical about like, oh, you should never say these things. I think she and then like what was it? No, what am I saying here? He got on her because like she wouldn't say the N-word, but she said faggot, And I mean, I literally just did that too, I didn't say the N-word, but I said faggot. Well, the N-word's a strange one, I've said it once. And I don't know exactly the context. I think I was just being like, oh, I don't care. Yeah, I'll say it, and then I said it. And then immediately I was like, that was weird, and I won't do it again. But, that kind of thing is going to come back and forth. After seeing that video, maybe I don't care. I think somebody actually, in that chat where I shared, somebody just told me to say... Now I just want to say it to get it out there. But it is weird, because, it has these racial connotations, and just you're not supposed to say it at all. But then there are things you can say which also have racial connotations, like spick, Spick, it's still offensive, but it's less hyped, I guess. No, I wouldn't say that. Less serious in today's society as a word like nigger. See, I said it with a hard R too, as a demonstrative kind of thing, where I was just saying the word and I wasn't using it really. My mother said it quite recently, actually. Oh man, I talked about this in one of my chats. I forget which it was, but I was talking to my mom about my financial situation, I guess, because I don't have a job. And for now it's a good thing because I need to stay home to watch my grandfather. But like I don't have any money to spend on things, and I'm also still terrible with money. And she remembered a word that described my situation, and that word was nigger-rich. And she had asked me what it meant. She's like, you know what nigger-rich means? And I'm like, I just walked away. I just like didn't care. And then I hear her, because I'm down the hallway, and I hear her pull out her phone and go, okay, Google, what does nigger-rich mean? I've said that word so many times. And of course she gets an answer. And then she knows that I heard her, and she knows that I heard the phone too, so she's like, there you go. That's what it means. My mom's great. Don't tell anyone that I told people that she said the N-word ever. because she feels embarrassed about no, because I talked about it in the car with my sister too. Because she's in the chat that I shared it with, so we talked about that, and my mom was like, "Yeah, all right, whatever." My mom's like 55. She just like doesn't care, or just like I don't know. She's not racist, but she grew up among racist culture, so sometimes she'll just like accidentally say things that are racist but not really mean it, like she'll say things that like we'll just be talking and she'll just say some really weird things about Mexicans or something like that, and I'm like, where are you getting this from? She's like, well aren't Mexicans this thing, aren't they usually this thing? And I'm like, Mom, Mom, you can't really say that. You just, like, you shouldn't generalize about any race, you know? She's like, well, I mean, it's kind of true, right? Sometimes they're like, and I'm like, Mom, let's not do this. You gotta love her, though. She's not mean-spirited. She's just, likely to stereotype a bit, I guess. I don't know. I live on like a bordering south, you know, kind of place, like a mid kind of thing. Like, I'm pretty sure we had slaves, which is a weird thing to say out loud. But you know, I'm gonna, and a lot of her family is down south. So that's what I say. She grew up around that kind of culture. But she's not like, well, I don't know. She's not actively racist. I think but she has those like hints of racism that you know, I want to say that everybody has to a degree. Everyone like will stereotype and judge people and discriminate a little bit. It's natural. It's like it's a phenomenon. Not a phenomenon. What am I trying to think? It's a psychological phenomenon was actually the phrase that I was thinking of. It just happens when we're used to a person treating us one way. We'll always think of that one person as the person that treats us that way. You know, my psychology teacher taught us this with like a story about his kids or whatever, and it's like, because you know, whenever his in-laws come over, the kid immediately knows that he can get shit from them, because you know, they're the grandparents. They're just nice, you know? Like, the kid will ask for things that he knows his parents won't give him, but that he knows his grandparents will give him. And that's discrimination. That's literally, that's of the definition. Like, it's not a negative thing. It's a psychological thing. In his brain, it's just like he has these groups of people. One are parents, one are grandparents, and he knows what he can get from them, and he knows what to expect from them, and that's, you know, animals do that too. Animals know who their owners are, and, you know, animals will learn which people to beg from based on, you know, who's more likely to give them food, you know? And on a broader scale, that happens annoyingly with, you know, cultures and race and things, because, like, Southern people are sometimes, well, not, I don't want to say Southern people, racist people, which are usually Southern, are, like, raised to learn that other races are inferior or do certain things, or maybe, you know, they see something one day, and they've heard stories, and in their brain they make these groups that say, this is what black people do versus this is what white people do, and it just becomes that way. It just becomes that in their minds all black people are like that, which isn't true at all. Like, generalization is almost like never like real, you know? What's a proper generalized statement? Well, generalizations about people or cultures are almost never true. You can make generalizations about objects, you know. Most bookshelves are made of wood. I just looked around, and that's a real generalization. But you can't say most blank people do blank or are blank, because it's just like, I almost want to say even if it's true, because we have statistics, you know, but even if it's true, which it usually isn't, it shouldn't be spread or even thought of, because it's not everyone. You know, generalizations in your mind, they go from generalizations to statements, to facts, you know. When you hear a most enough, eventually it becomes an all. That's how you think of it. If you only see bookshelves that are made of wood, you understand that most bookshelves are made of wood. You might eventually think that all bookshelves are made of wood. Like 99% of bookshelves are made of wood, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the percentage of bookshelves that are made of wood. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and it's like 20% or something, you know. You can make a bookshelf out of whatever the fuck you want, you know. But wood is very common. I thought of that example because there's a bookshelf within my view, but I don't know. I don't really want to talk about race. Oh man, would have been fun to have a guest on. There's a guest I almost wanted. The people in the chat that I mentioned, if they're listening now, they'll know the guest that I've talked about, and he would make a great guest for this topic. But I don't know. He didn't, like, I've mentioned it. I mentioned it in chat to him, and he didn't seem open to it or against it at all. He more or less ignored it or didn't see it. So, whatever. I don't know. Drinking some water. I do like having guests, though. I haven't had a guest in a while, I don't think. Yeah. I talked to that one asshole. If you'll remember, I did a video with a guest. The one guest that I didn't like. What was it? I don't even fucking remember his name. I talked to him, but I talked to him with a different account. I know they were the same people, but it was a different account, so I didn't actually... Oh, God. Who was it? Who's that fucking guy I don't like? You remember, I brought him on and I talked shit on him for making shitty kick videos. It's Smith. That's who it is. I talked shit on that guy, and he tried to contact me. Well, he successfully contacted me. He contacted me a few days ago. I feel like even during a recording, he sent me a message, and like I got back to him. I was like, "Can you do me a favor?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then he didn't say anything at all until today. And he was like, "Oh, sorry for not responding." I was like, "Yeah, whatever. What do you need?" And he's like, "Can you help me out? Give me admin in this chat. And you got admin in?" And I'm like, "The fuck, why?" You know. And he says, "Oh, because I want to make it better, and I need admin to do that." And I'm like, "No, you don't. You just don't. You don't need admin to invite people. You don't need admin to talk." I don't know why he wanted admin, but that's a dumb reason, and I've heard it before, and doesn't usually go well. So I didn't give him admin. Actually, because he kept asking, I removed him from that chat, and then he had one of his bots spam the fuck out of it or something. And then he ended up removing me from the chat that he was admin in, which I didn't even fucking care. I was just there. Sometimes they sent fun things, so whatever. The substitution for fun things in that past sentence. Oh boy. Well, fun things was a substitution. There was like a split-second decision just before I said that, where I almost said the thing that it would have actually been, but I said fun things instead because there might be a 9-year-old listening. Oh boy. Yeah, people who know me might know what I'm talking about. Whenever I say that, most of the time, if I say that sentence or something along the lines of that, it's gonna be the same thing. In general, it's gonna be the same thing. So if you know what it is, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you know me at all, you probably will have figured it out by now. Oh, God. I really shouldn't think about this anymore, but I just randomly thought about that one guy who said he didn't like my laugh. That one guy, it always gets to you. No matter what. No matter, like, dozens of people, I feel, have talked about my laugh and my voice. And even in that chat, yeah, a lot of people were complimenting my voice, which, you know, I understand. But, like, one random comment where a guy was like, "Oh, your laugh sucks," and it's just like, what? Huh? What? I don't. What? Huh? What? No. Just because I don't know. I'm almost just so used to everyone liking the laugh that I almost can't understand that there's someone that can't. But it has to happen, you know? Everyone has their tastes, everyone has their preferences, everyone has what they like and what they don't like. So it makes sense that there would be one random person out of the few hundred that have seen my videos that wouldn't like my laugh. It's just there, but it still got to me more than it should have. But I don't know. I don't usually get hate get to me. I don't get hate often, though. I think I'm hard to make fun of because it only works if you're genuine about it, you know? You have to have something real to say, and I don't know if he did really have something real to say, but it was still strange because what he said was so uncommon of a thing to say, you know? It almost didn't make sense to me. There I go again, giggling every 3 seconds. Whatever. Okay. Got mostly positive reviews or positive reception from the chat that I decided to share my YouTube with. I don't know. Somebody asked, I guess. Well, because I asked that guest that I wanted on if he would, or I said that he should. I said that I wanted him. I said I wanted him on my show, and then somebody was like, "Send a link to your shit." So I did. And then everything happened from there, and I got like 5 new subscribers that probably aren't going to watch any videos, but may. Some of them, probably. So yeah. That's that. They probably won't watch Kumo or Shield, which is sad. But, you know, when I was doing the fucking Soccer Spirits thing, and people who were there will know this, but I did a thing, every now and then there's like a story section, and I would narrate over it, and every time I did one of those, after that, I would say, "Did you like that? Then fucking watch Kumo and Shield," you know? Put a lot of work into that. I do, though. I wish they would get more views just because I enjoy doing it, and it's a fun series, and I talk about it all the time. But people are like, "Oh, no, it's too many. It's too many videos. I can't get into that." But it's like fucking... It's a story, you know? Just like put it on when you need something to listen to, and then it's there. Well, then, of course, you know, when you need something to listen to, you also have this. But if you like my voice, then you like that. It's a different thing, too, you know? It's a different voice entirely. This is my casual conversational voice. When I'm doing Kumo or Shield, I'm doing my narrator voice. Or you know, my Kumo voice, which is pretty much my voice. A little bit higher, though. It's a little bit higher than when I'm doing Shield because Kumo, the main character, is technically a girl. And of course, when there are other characters, they all have different voices. Slightly, very slightly different voices. I don't give them wacky voices like I do in various visual novel type things when I play a game that's like a visual novel, has that sort of aesthetic. Where it's just the characters on the screen and they're saying things. I'll give them wacky voices because it's fun and because it's a lot easier to give a character a voice when I can see what they look like. When I'm just reading a novel, most of the time I don't even know who's talking and I don't know what they look like. I don't have any idea of their gender sometimes, so it's weird to give them a voice. So they just generally have my voice, but it sounds slightly different than whoever else is there. You know, I have that at least, but no weird, wacky, inflatable, waving dolls. How's that? I don't fucking remember. I do get to end this though. I don't have to end it. I want to though. I want to, so that I can produce it and then get back to playing Roblox. So this fantasy can go fuck herself. She's done. No, I'm kidding. I'll defeat her. I got the battle points. Whatever. Hopefully everything will go good with the shit. Somebody also pointed out that. Well, they didn't actually point. They mentioned Fraps. They said get Fraps. Fraps is good. Fraps records in 60 FPS, which is an obvious hint to how I'm recording in 30. But then somebody else was like, doesn't he record on his phone? And then they were like, oh yeah. Because I was reading this after. I wasn't able to respond to that immediately. But yeah, so Fraps is a thing. But no, I mentioned I don't record in 60 FPS anymore. I think I used to. I record in 30 FPS with 720p HD resolution. I could record in 60 FPS with 1080p. The problem there is that it takes a ridiculously long time to produce and upload the videos. Well, substantially longer than it would now, and that's a problem because lithium-ion batteries don't last forever, and they get absolutely demolished when I'm producing videos, so smaller it is, the less strain it puts on the battery and the phone and the processor and all that, so it lasts longer. Of course, streaming while charging while playing Roblox probably doesn't help, but I do what I want. Take care of yourself.